Welcome back. Federal agencies are using the Defense Innovation Unit as a model for connecting with small businesses that haven't traditionally worked with the federal government. But acquisition professionals across government say big companies can play a role in bringing more small businesses into the GovCon space too. Larry Reagan's Executive Managing Director of the Civilian Market at Maximus. Larry, welcome. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me. What are some of the best practices for both the big guys and the small businesses to get together to be able to serve the government in a collaborative way?
Thank you, Francis. It's good to be here, and this is an area that Maximus takes very seriously. We've engaged with the small businesses a lot. As your previous discussion indicated, the workforce management and even tying them together as a large business, we use those small businesses to help build up the workforce and keep the workforce engaged. It's been something we've been very proud of over the years. So some of the challenges that we actually face in getting the right ones together, there's a culture mix that has to actually happen. Are they going to match our culture? We're a company that focuses so much on the mission and driving the mission and knowing what the mission is. The small business needs to be able to blend with us there as well. From a risk standpoint, one of the things that is a real challenge for big businesses anyway is when the government takes a large contract and makes it a small business contract. And now all of a sudden we're not really investing in it. We don't have that relationship with the government. It's really hard for us to manage a workforce like we were talking about earlier. And so that's a risk that makes it very difficult for us to engage. So we try to balance those things as we move forward.
How does a small business demonstrate to a large prime that they're the right fit, as you described, getting the right ones? And how should a prime evaluate the small companies that it's considering teaming with?
Sure. The first of all, from the small business standpoint, come to me, come to the large business with what your niche is. Make sure that you understand your value. If a small business comes and says, we can do everything, that doesn't work, right? Because, like I said, we're mission focused, so we want to know what part of that mission you're going to do. Because as a large, we think we can do everything. So if we're going to have a small, we want a small that we can be proud of and that will work with us. And that's the culture clash. Now, how is the best way of evaluating smalls? That's difficult, because as you can imagine, they come from all different backgrounds. Some are research companies, some are staffing companies. They all have different backgrounds. So we look at them as like the same thing. How do you fit into that mission profile for us? And you know what happens is that you find companies, small businesses that you'll do business with over and over and over.
How do you advise your government partners to evaluate the way that collaboration looks? To say, okay, I think these guys are going to get it right for me on this deal.
Yeah, that's really hard. I mean, it really is. It's a difficult thing for the government to look at this team. However, like I was saying, if we can define as the large how that small business fits into the mission profile. You were talking about the State Department modernization. I mean, that covers a lot of different areas, right? But if you had a small that they know fits in that, and the small has past performance and everything there, they can understand it then too.
What kind of examples do you have of where this has worked? And are there situations where you've seen, well, we know in hindsight that wasn't the best fit, and why? I've got several examples where it works very, very well. As a matter of fact, I'll bring one to the forefront here. I'll even mention the small business's name here. It's Chivo Consulting. We've known them for like 10 years, and they're very, very good at that budgeting and program management and interdependencies. So we can partner with them all the time, and sometimes they prime, sometimes we prime. It's a culture mix that really works well together. And that history then you can promote with the government, right? And other places where, you know, maybe the staff that they bring on aren't qualified. You know, you got to figure that out. And sometimes you do have a bad one that joins you, and you have to just move on then after that. Quick final thought. We have about a minute left, Larry. It sounds like evaluating culture
is maybe the most important part of all these relationships. Is that a fair read on my part?
I think it's a very fair read, to be honest with you, because if you're going to be together for 5 years on a contract, you got to have some sort of relationship that's going to work, and there's got to be a trust on both ways.
Larry, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Francis.
You can read more about small and large businesses teaming on today's show page at fedgovtoday.com.